Happy Wednesday. Happy Mind Your Wednesday. So, I kind of want to reflect today on this whole journey for me and doing the Mind Your Wednesdays. And well, let me just start off and say thank you to everybody that's been following me on this journey. I was I think this is episode 77, which in about a week that would put me at about a year and a half of Mind Your Wednesdays. And thinking about the journey, I kind of saw myself the stages, if you will, that I went through. And I jotted them down and I'm going to share those with you. So initially, several months before I actually did the first Mind Your Wednesday video, I was extremely cautious. I started out cautious. Let me just list them all, and then I'll go back and explain them. So I was cautious. Then I became complacent. And then I pushed myself to conquer. But then I had to be consistent. Cautious, complacent, conquered, and then consistent. So, several months before I started, or before I did the very first video, I kind of knew that I should have already been doing them earlier on. And I was like, no, I don't think I can do that. And who wants to hear what I have to say? And there's so many people out here doing these things. And I just know, and what ifs, and I did all of that. And I was just so cautious, right? So I didn't push myself, even though I was verbally speaking what I should be doing, right? So in me being cautious, life happens, and then I became complacent. I was like, it's okay. I can give myself time. I don't have to do it right now. I got this going on. And so I gave myself permission not to do it for several months, right? So I went from being cautious, a little overly cautious, to being complacent and just not doing it at all. So fast forward, maybe 6 months later, I was laying in the bed, me and God having our little conversation as we do. I talk to him like I'm talking to you. And I got convicted. And I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And I'm going to start on Wednesday. And I'm going to do the video. And there we do. So on Wednesday, start on Wednesday. Not realizing that it was a Wednesday. And I'm like, God, dog. And I remember my pastor saying, in this season, if God gives you something to do, you have to be obedient then. Mind you, I told you I was cautious and I got complacent for like 6 months. And I'm like, okay, really can't give myself an option right now. So I got to do it, because I just had this whole conversation like, yeah, I'm going to do it. Yeah, I'm going to do it. Right. So I had to conquer my fear of sharing, my thoughts and how I remain mindful and the practices that I do and the things that I've been given to share with you guys on Wednesday. So I had to conquer that fear, and just literally my conquering was get up, don't think. I think I had a hat on, the very first one, like I couldn't untwist my hair or whatever. I said, Tracy, just get up and just do it. So I got up and I did it, cap and all. Hit upload and freaked out. Like, oh my God, what did I just do? And here's the catch. Once the video uploaded, I did the first one on Facebook, I had to go make it public. Like, I can't just let the folk that know me, my friends, I gotta be public like so anybody can see it. Yep. Okay. Conquered. The whole season of conquering was Yeah, you didn't see the behind the scenes prior to what you would see on Wednesdays, but that conquering was it lasted for a little bit. So after conquering my fear, I had to be consistent. Like I started out saying, this is episode 77. Next week would mark a year and a half of being consistent. And it was a process. But I think in order to get to different phases, stages, and levels in our lives, we have to learn to be consistent in a thing before we can get to the next thing, the next higher thing, or whatever that level is or would look like for you. But for me, even in this journey that you've been tagging along with me on the Mind Your Wednesdays, it took a minute to get to consistent. I had to go through fear. I had to go through self-doubt. I had to go through being discouraged. I had to go through the passing of my father. I had to go through all these things to get to consistency, right? And I had to focus on, don't think about who liking, who sharing, who doing. It wasn't about that. I had to be consistent. You guys have tagged along with me in doing that, and I appreciate you. So think about where you are in your life and the things that you desire to do, and ask yourself, have I been consistent with where I am? Am I in the I'm being overly cautious phase of things? And you need to push past that? Or maybe you've talked yourself out of it and now you're just being complacent and you've given yourself every excuse not to do it. Or possibly you're in that space where you just need to do it afraid and conquer your fear. And in doing that, you can be and remain consistent. Hope this helps someone today. Just thinking back, sometimes you have to stop and look back and think back to where you started and how you got there, because lo and behold, as soon as you conquer and consistent with one thing, and God gonna throw something else at you, and it's like you starting all over. But as my brother would tell me all the time, trust your track record. You know the process. You know how things work for you, so trust that. So make your list may not look like mine, but I'm pretty sure you probably fall somewhere in there at some point in time in your journey and the things that you're trying to achieve and push through. So, guys, I hope you have an amazing, wonderful rest of your day. And if nobody's told you that they love you today, I love you, I love you, I love you. Be a great day.